Good morning and welcome back. We are talking about dimension groups and dimension structures, setting those up, and more importantly, filtering. So, just a reminder that dimension groups are ways that you can group together members of dimensions to report on it, filter your financial reports, your dashboards, or even general ledger reports. And then dimension structures give you the ability to use those groupings of your dimensions, whether that be a location, a class, customer, department, vendor, whatever dimensions you're using in your environment, and being able to use those on financial reports as rows or columns within the report. So as a reminder, just from the previous video, we added a new dimension group by going to reports, dimension groups. Again, these are all the types. You will see all the dimensions that you have listed here. And we are adding a new location dimension group. We've selected it as a dimension structure, meaning that it can be used on financial reports as rows or columns. And we talked about the group type. And within this group type, you can select specific members or all members. And all members can be used, and then you can use filters for within the group of all members. So whatever dimension you're talking about, whether it's locations or vendors or whatever, you can say, I want to take all of the members of that dimension, and I want to filter within those members, and then those be the grouping of that dimension that is I'm able to use as a filter on a report or something like that. And what this really helps with is your ability to not have to maintain your system as much. So in this example, we're doing a location group. And if I say all members, at this time, I'm saying, okay, every location, every entity that I have in Intacct, I want to be in here, but I want to add a filter to that. And in the field, you'll see which field you can filter on based on that dimension. So if you're looking at a vendor group, it will be different, the ability to the different fields that you have available to you. But in this one, I'm going to say a manager. So I want a location manager or entity manager, and I want that manager to be equal to, I have these other options of less than, contains, doesn't contain, all that kind of stuff, but equal to. And then I have all of my managers here listed out. Emma Penny. So what this will do is it will take my list of entities or locations. In this environment, I only have entities, and it will grab all of the locations that have the manager Emma Penny here, and it will add it to this dimension group and this dimension structure, and I'm able to filter my reports on it. So if I have my manager is equal to Emma Penny, I'm going to hit save. I do want to mention too that you can also add more filters. So you have some conditions where you can do an and statement or an or statement. So maybe I wanted my manager and I want the maybe I want the base currency to also be equal to US dollars. So I only want my currency to be that, and I want those conditions to be true. Or I want to say I either want the manager to be Emma Penny, or I want the base currency to be US dollars. You can also add, additional filters as well. And you do have an expression here. And what that can allow you to do is in the expression, you can say that you want to, for example, have, things that are, you want the manager to be Emma Penny and the base currency to be US dollars, or you can add a third one. So in that example, it would be condition 1 and 2, or condition 3. So if I had a third condition here, maybe I want, the location ID to be, less than, let's do, is less than 200. So in this case here, I either need the manager to be Emma and there be US dollars, or I need their location ID to be less than 200. So that's an example of a filter. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of these, and I just want the manager to be Emma Penny. So in this example here, I'm going to hit save. And if I go to my report that we looked at in the previous video, you see there that I had those things, and I'm going to choose my test group here as the location. And I'll see here that I have these three. Now, if I go and I look at my entities here, the three entities that have this manager are USA 1, 2, and 3. And then, those are the ones showing up there. Now, if I wanted to edit that group here, and maybe I wanted to say is the manager is Emma Penny, and I want the ID to be less than, let's say, 300. I'm going to hit save. What's going to happen is I'm going to filter this report again. I'm going to choose that test dimension group. And you see I only have USA 1 and USA 2 here. So what this does and why this is important is that if I go into my system and I add a new location, so if I go to my, I'm going to just add another entity here. Let's do entity ID 150, test entity. And I have a couple of like random things that I have to do here that you might not have to do in your environment. And I just select Emma as that manager. What's going to happen now is on every single report, if I were to go in and put in a journal entry for this test entity, let's see, maybe I should just do that really quick so that you can see something that shows up. Let's do revenue subscriptions. Whoops. So I'm just going to, oh boy, I'm going to add it to the GJ. I'm going to put it in the year that I'm working in here, which I think is that date. If I have my location as my test entity, and I'm just going to make sure I have all of the things here that I need. Might need a project, might need a task, and then I choose an account. Let's do revenue subscriptions, or let's do revenue services. Why not? I'm in that base currency. Oh, I might need an amount, right? Let's see. Where did my, oh, I got to go all the way over here. 100. And then maybe I'll just choose this again. Hopefully I'm getting in all of my dimensions. Do holidays. And maybe I'll just choose a cash account. And then 100. All right. Of course, I might have some journal entry approvals set up here. Hopefully I do not. Hopefully that is posted. Let's see. Let's go to my GJ. Oops. Whoopsie daisies. Go back. All right, there's my test. It is posted. So if I were to go and refresh this report here, you'll see that I have my test entity in there. Of course, I put it in backwards because we were speeding through here, but that's the point. It is something very, very simple. There's low maintenance, right? All I did was add my entity or, your location, whatever it might be. So if you have something like vendors and you just need a vendor type, for example, you can create a dimension group based on filtered by the vendor type, and all of those vendors would be included in that report for you. So that is how you would utilize filters. I hope you learned a lot from this. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you so much.